Now that we have our script ready for production, we can go ahead and look at how we can export our results out to a spreadsheet. Before we export our results, you may recall that at the beginning we had limited our query in preferences to only output 1000 rows. Performing a row count on our query, we can see that there is 2,838 rows. So before we export our results, as our query limit preference is currently set to 1000 rows, if we run this query, we will only get back 1000 rows instead of our 2,838 rows. So without going into edit preferences, which we could do, under the query menu we have a limit rows menu, and we can currently see that this is set to 1000 rows. We can tick this off to don't limit, and this time when we run our query, we can see in our output window that 2,838 rows have been returned. And similarly, if we wanted to put our limit back on, if we're in the middle of testing our query, we could set this back to, for example, 10 rows. And we can see that the same query has now run with a limit of 10. So for now, I will set the limit row to don't limit so that we capture all our rows when we go to export. To export, we can click on the export button for our results. We can see we have a number of options in MySQL presented to us to export our file type, including the likes of comma separated file, tab separated, and other formats that will be akin to programming, such as JSON formatted and XML. Even though there is an Excel spreadsheet which is denoted in XML format, I will go ahead and export in tab separated format. I will call this file cuspay total and timestamp with today's timestamp. I've set up a folder under documents called MySQL results, sales, and you can see the file has been exported. I can go ahead and open this with a Notepad editor. In this case, I'm using Notepad++. And you can see the first row has our field names. And if we scroll down, we can see 2,839 rows. Also noting that the file is tab separated. We can go ahead then and also open up this file in Excel. And within Excel, we can go to Data from TXT, from text or CSV. And select to import. I don't need to change any details on this, so I can say load our data into Excel. Microsoft Excel is reporting back that 2,838 rows have been loaded. it also shows that the data source is connected to this file name, and it is reporting 9 columns. So that's how we can export results from MySQL into Notepad and also to be opened up in Excel. I will go ahead and save. And I've created another folder here called Sales Reports. And I will call this Sales Summary. I will also create a sheet for our SQL. And call this That concludes this section on exporting results from MySQL into Notepad and Microsoft Excel.